Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. Dior has released the new Miss Dior fall makeup collection for 2025, and in this video I will share my thoughts about this collection. Well, not the entire collection, because when I placed my order not all products were available yet. I was able to pick up the 3 eyeshadow palettes and the 3 matching Rouge Dior lipsticks. So those are the products I'm going to talk about today. Let's get started. Within this new Dior fall makeup collection, there are 3 mini collections. We have Shocking Pink, Wild Beige and Black Bold. And all these 3 mini collections contain 1 eyeshadow palette, 1 eyeliner, 1 nail polish and 2 lipsticks, 1 Rouge Dior lipstick, that's the one with the velvet finish, and 1 Addict lipstick, and that one has a satin finish. And like I just mentioned, I've picked up the 3 eyeshadow palettes. These retail for 83 euros, which will be around 84, maybe 85 US dollar. And the 3 Dior Rouge lipsticks, these are the ones with the velvet finish, and these retail for 52 euros. So that will be 54, maybe 55 US dollar. Before we're gonna have a closer look at these 3 mini collections, I have to mention that there are no comparisons included in this video. And that has to do with the fact that I'm leaving soon for my summer vacation. So I simply do not have time to go through my stash to look for similar palettes or dupes or whatsoever. So I'm sorry, but there are no comparisons included in this video. Now let's have a closer look at the Shocking Pink mini collection. In this Shocking Pink collection, you will find this eyeshadow palette, this Quint. This one is also called Shocking Pink. This is number 862 Shocking Pink. The lipstick is also called Shocking Pink. This is a beautiful pink fuchsia shade, and this is number 781 Shocking Pink and number 862 Shocking Pink. These are a beautiful pair. And when we dive into the color story of the Shocking Pink eyeshadow palette, you will see in the center 1 matte fuchsia shade. This color is velvety soft, the pigmentation is good, the color payoff is good too. At the bottom you will find 2 darker shades, 1 mid-tone taupe shade. This one has a satin finish, and 1 darker brown. This brown contains a hint of purple. This one also has a satin finish. And then there are 2 lighter shades, 1 rose gold shade. I think this is a beautiful shade. It didn't really swatch that well, but applied on the lids it looks very pretty and flattering. And the other shade is a topper shade. This is a rosy ivory shade with a duochrome finish. This duochrome finish is very subtle. You barely see it, I have to be honest, but it looks incredible on the eyes. So it's just a very pretty shade. It's officially a duochrome. I think it's very subtle, but I can see that little pink to ivory shift. Shocking Pink is the color story that I'm wearing on my eyes today, paired with the Shocking Pink lipstick. So this is the Shocking Pink look. I have to admit that this is the palette that I really enjoy the most out of these 3. Now this color story is not as shocking as it might be presented by Dior. It's a cool toned taupe color story with a pop of color, a pop of pink fuchsia. I really, really love this color story. This is a very balanced color story. You can very easily create both daytime and nighttime looks with this palette. You don't necessarily have to use the pink if you don't want to. You can skip it and you will still have a beautiful look when you use the other 4 shades in this palette. But that pink shade definitely gives the look a little bit more spice, so I really, really like that. I didn't experience any issues with the formula. The pigmentation is good and the color payoff is good. This really is a very easy palette to work with. There's one thing you have to keep in mind, and this not only applies to this shocking pink eyeshadow palette. What I'm going to tell you now also applies to Wild Beige and the Black Bold palette. There's only one matte shade, so this pink is the only matte shade you have in this palette. And again, in Wild Beige and Black Bold, also only one matte shade. So you really have to think about the look you're gonna create, because one matte shade to work with is not a lot. So keep that in mind. And the lipstick to pair this eyeshadow palette with is this color. It's also called Shocking Pink, a beautiful pink fuchsia shade, a cool toned shade, very, very pretty. This is, by the way, a new color, not an existing color, a new color, Shocking Pink. Absolutely stunning. Now, formula wise, this is not my favorite Dior formula. This is the Rouge Dior formula. This one has a velvet matte finish, so it's not completely matte. You still have a little bit of a sheen, but I think this is a little bit stiff. It's a very thick formula. It's not the most easy formula to work with, in all honesty, and especially with this bright fuchsia pink shade, I recommend using a lip pencil before applying this on your lips. This is unfortunately not a mistake-proof formula, and especially with a shade like this, you have to be very careful. So yeah, not my favorite formula, but I do really, really love this color. Up next is Wild Beige. This is the eyeshadow palette Wild Beige number 664. This is made in France. The other 2 eyeshadow palettes too, of course. These have, by the way, a 6 months shelf life. I think I forgot to mention that, but no, now you know, 6 months shelf life. That's not a very long time. And the pairing lipstick is this one, Nude Look number 100. This is not a new color. This is an existing shade. I think this one is already in their collection for a couple of years. So not a new shade, but it is a pretty shade, a beautiful nude color. It's not the best nude for me personally, but again, this pair, very, very pretty. So let's have a closer look at the Wild Beige color story. Like I just mentioned when I was talking about Shocking Pink, these palettes only have one matte shade, and in this palette, that's the dark brown shade. Now this brown is pretty neutral in undertone, definitely not warm. You might expect that, but that's not the case. But I think this entire palette leans less warm than I expected. It's definitely more neutral in undertone. The only color that leans warm is the color in the right top corner, and that's a light brown apricot shade. In the center you will find a satin shade. In the pan it looks like a light brown, but there's a lot of white, added to this shade. On my skin tone, it barely shows up. You barely see it's there. And on the bottom left, we have a pink shade. This is also a satin shade. This one has a satin finish. And in the top left corner, you'll have your topper shade. This is a white with a hint of silver. Now, I truly love neutral color stories, but I am a little bit disappointed in this one because the colors, they look kind of pigmented, you know, when you see them, but applied on my lips, you barely see them. And that applies to all shades except for the brown matte. That one is very good, but all other shades, I barely see them. So if I want to do like a nude look, yeah, I can use this palette. But when I do a everyday look, I still want you to see that there's something on my eyes. And all these shades kind of disappear when I apply them. You barely see them. Now, that probably has to do with my skin tone. I think that there's a chance that these colors might work better on other skin tones. But for me, this is not the best color story. So the brown matte, excellent quality, really nice to work with, easy to apply, a very good pigmented matte shade. But all the others, those satins and even the topper shade, I just do not really see them. And that's a pity because this is a color story that I really like. But I have other quints or quads or big eyeshadow palettes in my collection with neutral color stories that are way better for me and my complexion. The lipstick that comes in this Wild Beige collection is this one, Nude Look number 100. This is an existing shade, this is not a new shade. So please check your collection, maybe you already own this one. This shade is also available in the Addict formula, the satin lipstick formula. This is a very neutral color, perfect for a nude lip. It's pretty neutral also in undertone. It doesn't lean extremely cool, doesn't lean extremely warm. For me personally, this is not the perfect neutral nude lipstick. It just doesn't do much for my appearance. With this eyeshadow palette, Wild Beige, I prefer a more bold lip because Wild Beige looks very natural on me, and when I do a more natural eye look, I want my lips to stand out, I want my lip color to stand out. So I rather use a more bold color in combination with the Wild Beige eyeshadow palette. But if you prefer a more quiet, balanced look, then this shade 100 is perfect in combination with the Wild Beige eyeshadow palette. And the last one is the Bold Black collection. I'm gonna take the eyeshadow palette out of the pouch. Did I mention the pouches? No. Oh gosh, let me show you all of them. Wait. You have 3. This is Shocking Pink. The Wild Beige comes in this pouch, and the other one, the last one, in the black pouch. I like these pouches. I like the style of these. I don't think I told you that, but I like the look of these, so I will certainly keep these pouches and store the eyeshadow palettes in these pouches because these come in very handy in my opinion. Now let's have a look at that last quint. This is Bold Black. Hold on a second. There it is. This is the Bold Black palette, and this is number 931. And the matching lipstick that comes with this eyeshadow palette is this color. This is shade Icon. And this is not a new shade, just like the one with the Wild Beige collection. That was number 100. This is number 720. This is an existing shade, not a new shade. The Black Bold eyeshadow palette is the palette I was most excited about when I saw the first promo pictures of this new Dior fall makeup collection. But it's a little bit disappointing. Yes, I am a little bit disappointed in this eyeshadow palette. The shades, they swatched very, very well, but for some reason the colors do not transfer to my eyes like that. All colors except for the black are very light, very soft in tone. So you get this like one-dimensional look if you do not add the black to your look. You really need the black in your look to create dimension. Otherwise, it looks just very boring and unflattering. So in this palette, you have again one matte shade. That is the shade in the center. That's the black color. At the bottom you will find two satin shades, one grayish green. This is that kind of seafoam shade. It reminds me of seafoam when I apply this color on my eyes. And the other shade is a beige shade, a very light beige shade. In the top row you will find one rosy brown. This one is very, very sheer. I've experienced a lot of issues with this color. The color payoff is so poor. The pigmentation also very poor. This shade hardly shows up on my lids. It's very hard to use. It has some glittery particles, but it's just like a very sheer wash of a very light rosy brown color. I have no clue why this shade is included in this palette. To me, it has no function. It's so light and it's so hard to work with because the color payoff is so poor that I can't work with that shade. I'm very sorry that I have to say this, but this is just not good. Not good. And the last shade in this palette is the icy white color. That's a topper shade. So I didn't experience any issues with the black, with that green shade and this lighter shade. These three, they work absolutely fine. But these two right here, they just don't do anything. It's like when I apply these on my eyes, just like with the Wild Beige palettes, they just do not show up. You do not see them. You hardly see them. Because, I mean, when you have a close look, you can see some of the glitters and a little bit of the color. But it's not what I expected. It's not what I expected at all. So the downside of this color story is that you have to use the black to create a good look, to create a look with dimension. If you do not use the black shade, if you do not incorporate the black in your eye look, you will get a very flat, like dull eye look. Now the black is also the only matte shade in this palette. I think this palette would have been so much better if this color right here would have been a matte shade with a good pigmentation and a good color payoff. Now this palette isn't giving me a lot. So yeah, I just expected something completely different from this Quint, for me, this is too light, too soft in tone. Some of the shades are too sheer. This is not what I expected. The lipstick in the shade Icon is a perfect match with the eyeshadow palette. A beautiful pair. I really like to combine these two products. This is a beautiful red shade that will look good on many skin tones. I've said it before and I will say it again now. Please use this in combination with a lip pencil. This is not a mistake-proof formula. It's very thick, it's very stiff, so you really must be very careful when you apply this color on your lips. I like to use a lip brush to apply this color. Well, friends, some thoughts about this collection. First of all, the first question that came to my mind when I saw this collection was, is this a true fall collection? And I think the answer is no. When you look at the Shocking Pink palette, I see a true winter color story with the taupe shades and the bright fuchsia shade. Those shades are true winter shades. So to me, Shocking Pink is a winter eyeshadow palette. And when I look at the Wild Beige collection, I see a lipstick that can be worn all year round. It's not a typical fall color. And the eyeshadow Quint gives me spring vibes, soft spring vibes. It has a little bit of a romantic vibe to it. And because of the light colors, it gives me spring vibes. So to me, that eyeshadow palette isn't very autumnal either. And when I look at the Bold Black collection, I see again a lipstick that can be used all year round. It's not necessarily a fall shade. And the eyeshadow palette gives me summer vibes because of that sea green, that sea foam shade in combination with those light beige sandy colors. It gives me beach vibes. So again, no fall vibes. So I really don't know what to think about this collection as a fall collection. But you know, let me know what you think about these color stories for the fall season. Then the eyeshadow palettes. I told you that I'm a little bit disappointed in these eyeshadow palettes. Since the Dior reformulation of the eyeshadow palettes, it has always been hit or miss for me. I truly like the Ganache palettes, but I haven't bought a lot of other eyeshadow palettes since the reformulation, because I just do not really like the new formula. So because I like the Ganache palettes so much, I thought I would also really enjoy these new fall palettes, but that just is not happening. The Bold Black eyeshadow palette is too light, too soft in tone. It's not pigmented enough for my liking, and I really have to use the black in the palette to add some dimension to my look. If I do not use the black, I will get a very boring, dull eye look. Also, I'm wondering why it's called Bold Black, because there's nothing bold about that color story. And kind of the same goes for the Wild Beige eyeshadow palette. It does provide a very natural eye look, but it's nothing special. There's also nothing wild about that color story. It's a color story that I've seen 100 times. There's also nothing special about the formula. So yeah, I'm sorry, but that's just not a favorite of mine. I am kind of impressed by the Shocking Pink palette. And by kind of impressed, I mean that that's the best palette of these three. I expected it to be slightly more impactful, but it is impactful enough. I mean, I'm wearing it on my eyes, as you can see, together with the pairing lipstick. So I am satisfied with this palette. It's good enough. I think Dior did a good job with the Shocking Pink lipstick and eyeshadow palette. But generally speaking, I am just not overly impressed by this fall collection. If you have further questions about this collection, feel free to ask them in the comment section, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye!